So I gave up sugar for 30 days, and this is what happened. Got a whole bunch of notes here for you guys so that I can cover everything, don't want to miss anything. I got a bit to talk about, but I'm going to do it quickly, and I'm going to speak slower. The first question a lot of people have for me is, why did I do this? Why would you want to quit sugar for 30 days? We all know how bad sugar is for us, or we all hear how bad it is. We see articles in newspapers and on the TV and documentaries, but do we ever do anything about it? No, we don't. We just carry on, we eat our cupcake. Why? Because it makes us feel good. I wanted to see for myself what would happen if I cut out sugar for 30 days. I knew for a fact that myself, I was addicted. If there was something sweet in the fridge, if there was something sweet in the cupboard, it's literally all I could think about. I'd be busy with something, but on my mind it would just be, I can't wait to get to that chocolate, I can't wait to eat that cupcake. And then after I destroyed whatever I was thinking about physically by ingesting it, I feel like I just kicked a puppy. So don't get me wrong, it's good to enjoy yourself, but everything in moderation, and I struggle with that. If the slab is this big, that slab is gonna become nothing inside of my stomach. I don't leave anything for anyone else, and I have no off button. Before I actually started this challenge, I went a bit crazy. I had a crazy burger, I had some Krispy Kreme, I had a milkshake, I had fries, I ate an entire slab of chocolate. I did all that thinking I could prepare myself for this. If I could get enough sugar into my body, I'd feel less bad over the next few days. From day one, my plan was just to cut out foods with any added sugars in them. No soft drinks, no sweets, all that kind of stuff. If it had added sugar in it, I wasn't going to eat it. For some reason, I also cut out refined carbs, breads and pastas, and I cut out dairy except for a little bit of yogurt every day. I feel like my body doesn't agree totally with dairy all the time. I honestly think the trick to staying lean is cutting out refined carbs and dairy. I also want to stay away from any sweet foods. So if it had sweetener in it or honey or anything natural, I also tried to not have those kind of things because I wanted to wean myself off of this addiction or the craving that I have for sweet things. My body agrees with it so well. I've seen the changes. You guys can see the changes. So now you know why I wanted to do it. After these 30 days are done, what did I actually learn from this? The first thing that I learned was sugar is in absolutely everything. You can check out my previous videos where I talk about it. It's almost impossible to avoid if you're not constantly checking every single label of the foods you're eating. I mean, most of us consume over the daily limit of what you should be eating, of how much sugar you should be getting in your body, just from normal foods. So even if you think, oh, I didn't have any chocolates today, whatever, you think your sugar intake is low, no, it's usually higher than what you should be having, and that's only from foods that you think are healthy. Cutting out sugar taught me to actually love food for what it is, how it tastes by itself. And you might think that's boring and terrible, but I promise you, cut out sugar, your taste buds just come alive. I feel like I can smell things better. Taste is out of this world, so when I do taste some food with a little bit of garlic on it and a little bit of spice or something, it's amazing. I mean, fruits to me became like dessert. A smushed up banana with some peanut butter. Oh, it was so good. It also feels like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Now that the diet's over, I don't feel like I have to constantly check everything and worry if I'm ingesting sugar by accident. I mean, it got me a little bit antsy. Point 3, that was point 1 and 2, by the way, sorry. Point 3, I have so much respect for bodybuilders and people who do competitions. The discipline that these guys have is insane. I mean, I just cut out sugar, my food intake still stayed the same, so my calories were still what they would usually be. I was just struggling, like I'd see something and I'd want it, but these guys are cutting unhealthy foods, they're cutting their calories, and they're doing this for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, crazy amounts of time. I have a lot of respect for you guys. Point number 4, I learned that healthy food is not that expensive. You always hear these theories or myths that takeaways and fast food is much cheaper than healthy food. I promise you that is not the case here. Sure, you can go into your fancy health store that only serve organic, never been touched by humans, fancy hipster kind of food. Yes, that's going to be expensive, but go to your local supermarket or your local fruit and veg, and you'll see how cheap vegetables really are, guys. And you can make a lot of amazing things with just some veggies. Point number 5, I learned that I'm stronger than what I thought I was. Over these past 30 days, I really thought I would have given up. Not because I have a weak self-esteem or anything like that, but simply because I'm addicted to sugar. I like the high. You get high when you eat sugar. So mentally I've become stronger. To me, that's the most important thing out of all of this. Sure, my body's healthier, and physically I've become stronger and fitter. Physically you could be strong, but if your mind is weak, so are you. The effects on my body. There. Next page. When I started this off, I said it, I was not expecting drastic changes, but because I cut out sugar, it made me focus on all the foods I was eating and making sure that I was getting healthy foods. So you can see it did make a difference. My energy levels were consistent. I didn't have these lulls in the day where you'd have some energy and then 3 o'clock comes and you're like, oh, start getting heavy eyes and just feel lackadaisic and lazy. I didn't have that. My energy levels were perfectly consistent. And so it would be, if I was waking up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, it would be get up. Just as I'd wake up, I'd feel good. I'd just get up. I wouldn't have that tired, lazy feeling, just want to lay in bed. Literally just get out of bed, start my day, and it was amazing. And that's how it stayed the whole day until I got into bed that night, and then I sleep like a baby. I'd have uninterrupted sleep, just feel so refreshed every single time I woke up. My moods have been good. Those have also been consistent. When I first started, up to probably day 3, my moods were all over the place. I was kind of going through withdrawals, I think. So I didn't get any headaches or anything like that, but I did just feel really moody and angry with the world. But it only lasted for a little bit. After those 3 days, everything became much easier, and I was a happy person, and I still am a happy person. So what was good and what was bad about this challenge actually? All the advantages and disadvantages. Let's start with the disadvantages. You can't get high. I know that sounds harsh and it sounds like something only drug users would say, but that's what we are here, guys. Sugar really is, it's toxic and addictive, and we are users, we're abusers. Point number 2 of the disadvantages is that you can't really eat out there. There aren't a lot of places where we can go, well, in Johannesburg, where we know what exactly is in the food, that they haven't put any sugars into it. I think I had to take out once this entire 30 days, and that was from a health takeaway restaurant called Kauai, and it was a wrap. And I made sure with them that there was no sugar in there before that. It's also almost impossible to find sugar-free foods. I was at the supermarket and I counted, there were almost 50 cereals, and one of them was no added sugar and no added salt. One of them out of almost 50 cereals, can you believe it? No bacon. This was a big one for me. I can't believe it, but there is sugar in bacon. Why? Someone please tell me why there's sugar in bacon. Is it a preservative for some reason? I don't know, but that made me sad because I really thought I could eat bacon on this diet. Another disadvantage is feeling that weight on your shoulders, having that worry of if you are going to accidentally ingest sugar. I mean, you're not going to die, it's just you've committed, well, I committed to 30 days of not putting any sugar in my body, and I wanted to really do this. So I was a bit antsy and worried all the time about my foods, and if I wasn't going to be able to make my own food for dinner, how was I going to get healthy food in without sugar? I guess the last point again is no bacon. Like, what the Right, so the good things, the good parts. I feel great. I honestly feel amazing. Ever since I've started training, this is the best I've ever felt. It's the leanest I've ever been, but the best I've ever felt. I feel healthier, I think I look healthier, I've been more productive. I think doing this with intermittent fasting is just insane. When you wake up in the morning and you can just go, your mind is alert and your brain functions so well. My work productivity just increased. I was able to get so much more done in so much shorter amount of time. I was able to get so much done in a shorter amount of time. My workouts have been great. Yes, I've dropped in weight, so the weights that I'm lifting haven't gone up too much, but they have actually increased. I've been able to push for longer on the sessions at a more consistent level because of my energy levels. There was no drop towards the end of my workouts where I just try and get things over with so I could get out of the gym. It would just be a constant, yes, let's train. And the last advantage was saving money. Because I cut out sugar, it meant I wasn't getting takeaways, I wasn't going out for many dinners. Yes, I still had a social life, but I wasn't spending unnecessary money on things that aren't too good for me. Alcohol is probably the biggest one where I save the most money. So when somebody says to you eating healthy is not cheap, tell them to f*** off. So what's next for me? Am I going to stay sugar free? Yes and no. Yes, because I'd be stupid not to carry on with this. Just simply to not have that weight on my shoulders and the pressure of always killing myself over what I'm eating or how I'm going to get healthy food without sugar in it it's not worth it. That does add a bit of stress to your life. I am now more aware of it. How much sugar is in nearly everything we eat. I'm able to avoid most of those foods. I'm happy to eat healthy because it tastes good as well. So I'm not going to ever call this a diet, and I don't like diets because they're not sustainable. Yes, you're going to lose weight in the beginning, or you're going to become a healthier person, all that kind of stuff, but diets are fads most of the time, and they're not sustainable because usually you go to an extreme. Cutting out carbs, cutting out this, cutting out whatever it is. It's just, you need to change your lifestyle, and that's what I'm doing here. So these past 30 days, yeah, I'm going to call it was a sugar-free diet. But for the rest of my life, it's going to just be a light on sugar aware lifestyle. So a sugar aware lifestyle is what I'm actually going to call it. To me, it's become natural almost not having sugar, but I will be more relaxed about it. I'm not going to beat myself up if I eat something with sugar in it, or someone gives me food and there is actually sugar in it and they lied, whatever. But I am having a massive cheat day after this. More to prove a point rather than just pigging out, which I am going to do and enjoy. A lot of people say to me that I look the way I do because I have a fast metabolism or because of genetics, and yes, genetics do play a role in it, but I look the way I do because of the way I eat. In the next video that you're going to see, my epic cheat day or whatever I'm going to call it, I'm going to eat exactly what I want to eat, no holds barred. So if I want something, I'm going to have it. I'm going to count all those calories, and I'm going to show you guys just how much I actually put into my body if I wasn't watching it. And then I can prove to you guys that it's not simply genetics and a fast metabolism that play a role in the way you look. It's what you're putting into your body and how much of it. If you'd like to see what I did eat on this 30-day sugar-free challenge, take a look here or here. I don't know how these card things work. I'm going to start using cards. Yes, here. Okay, here. There's a full day of eating, and I just show you simply kind of what meals I was eating. Would I recommend you guys to do this? As I spoke about it earlier, I don't recommend diets. I do recommend lifestyle changes. Think about all those advantages and disadvantages, weigh them against each other, and just see. You don't have to totally cut out sugar from your life, but limit it. Just take notice of how much of it you're eating. Take notice of what foods it's in. Diabetes is truly scary and it's totally avoidable. So just look after yourselves, look after your kids. Stop giving them little sweet snacks. I mean, I've seen people giving 2-year-olds sweets. Like, it drives me nuts. So just get into your habit to live a healthy lifestyle. Limit your intake of sugar, and that way we'll be healthier, happier, less addicted people. So I hope that was somewhat interesting. If it was, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mom, and be nice to people. Bye.